Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today I am live with another Throwback Thursday, and today I am going to be opening a box of 1995 Emotion. So, this set features Cal Ripken on the cover and all over it, frankly. There is a subset of timeless cards that I believe there's 10 or 12 cards in the subset that are all based on Cal Ripken and his different accolades and accomplishments and prodigies, etc. So I'm interested in collecting that one. I have majority of those cards, but I'm still missing a couple. This one was bought on Baseball Card Exchange, actually as part of a case. So I got a pretty good deal on this. The case was 4 boxes of 95 Emotion, and it was listed for 150 bucks. These are factory sealed and 100% confirmed. And individually, these were going for about 50 to 55 on eBay. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. So, I'm buying from Baseball Card Exchange, which authenticates, and then they were also just a really, really, really good deal. So, I'm excited to open them. The one thing I'm a little worried about is even when I was significantly younger, in 95, 96, these cards stuck together a lot. So, it's 20 years later, they've gelled. So I'm hoping that's not going to be a problem with these. But if it is, if they break apart without any paper loss, that's what we're looking for. So primarily, I'm looking to collect the whole set. Definitely still chasing some Jeters, some Griffeys, Alex Rodriguez, Chipper Jones, those guys. And then I want to complete the Cal Ripken subset as well. So, a little bit about the packaging. It is 100% factory sealed, as you can see. Right here it features, so it is in fact 10 cards in the subset for Cal Ripken, and they are the timeless cards. These cards I thought photographed really, really, really well. There are 200 cards in the base set, including 3 checklists. And then the inserts I remembered were the Masters, the Rookies, the timeless cards, and the Intense. So, without any more commentary from me, let's get started opening these. I believe there are 36 packs in this box, so it may take a little while to go through. And they're also double sleeved, if I remember correctly. So there's a hard plastic casing and then the foil actual pack inside. So they take a little bit longer, than a normal pack to go through. And I believe you get around 7 cards per pack. Well, I'm going to set this up as if we were in a store. Back in the late 90s looking to buy a pack of Emotion 95. So that's what the casing looks like. There are 8 cards per pack. And the odds are listed on the back of the package here as from 1 to 5 packs to 1 to 37. The 1 to 37 being the Intense cards. I believe the Cal Ripken cards are 1 out of 12. And the Rookies are the 1 to 5. All right, so this is what these look like. This is a Dunston from the Cubs. Now, we've got the team at the bottom, his name right above. Sometimes it's a little hard to see depending on the lighting. And then there's a little bit of flavor text somewhere on the bottom or the side of the card, that helps describe the player. Finley. And as I mentioned, these do like to stick together, so I'm going to do whatever I can to mitigate any bit of paper loss. There's a Ron Gant. So we have our first insert. This is a Kenny Lofton Masters card. So I believe these are 1 and 8. We've got a Brady Anderson. I liked how these cards looked. They were very unique at the time. They have this little bit of rubbery feeling to them, which also is why they like to stick together. But I thought the photographs were very, very good, and the design was kind of edgy for the time. There's Andy Pettitte on the back. And the back of the card has the player's name. In this case, a very interesting photo of Pettitte throwing a pitch. A little bit of blurb about the player at the top here, and then a blurb about the player, and then some stats for that year. 95 might have been Pettitte's first year. Now, I wonder if this is a true rookie card. It looks like he was, I think that was his rookie year. Anyway, moving on. There is a rookie subset in this, and you get 1 out of every 5 packs. There's a handful of rookies there. One of them is Chipper Jones. One is Alex Rodriguez. I believe Sean Green is in there as well. And we've got a Tim Salmon. And this is what I was talking about them sticking together. It's hard to tell in the video, but I am very lightly holding these, and they are stuck like a brick. Now, there is a rookie set, or a rookie card in this. I see it peeking through in the back. There is a Deion Sanders. I believe Reggie is in here as well. Our rookie card is, in fact, Alex Gonzalez. I almost said Rodriguez because I know he's in here as well, but that is Alex Gonzalez with the Blue Jays. We've got a Tim Raines. Curtis. Good one. And last is Martinez with the Dodgers. Still looking for our first Cal Ripken insert card. Kevin Apier. There's our first Griffey. So PSA 10 variants of this card have been going for about $70 on eBay last time I checked. So he's one of the ones we're chasing. Just because, the more Griffeys, the better. He's a fantastic player. And I'm going to go ahead and sleeve that one up. Cordova, Ray Durham, Whitaker, and Mike Mussina on the back. Again, I'm going through these kind of slow just because I know they're notorious for sticking together, which you can obviously see, and I don't want any paper loss on any of the cards. That completely ruins the value. Fortunately, I don't think these are known for paper loss, even though they stick together. There's Moises Alou. He was always a thorn in the Braves' side when he played with Montreal and the Marlins. We've got a John Smoltz. Rafael Palmeiro. Definitely not a fan of his. One of the more prominent PED users. There is Pedro Martinez. Big Cat, looking through the camera. And Greg Maddux. a huge Maddox fan. I actually don't have a whole lot of his cards or paraphernalia. I'm looking to add some of his stuff to my collection before it further increases in value. There's a McRae. Still looking for our first timeless Cal Ripken card. That's a Reggie Sanders. Wetland. Hamilton. And Puckett. Do y'all have a favorite set from the 90s? The Emotion card started in 95, and I believe they ended production in 2004. I liked these, which were 1995. I liked the 1997 Cloud variant cards. 1996 had this interesting cardboard frame on the outside of the cards. They were kind of cool to look at, but definitely not my favorite. I'm looking to get a box of the Cloud cards from 1997 EX 2000. There just are not a lot of those around, and the prices keep seeming to increase on those every time I find a listing on eBay. I'm waiting for a little bit of a good deal on them before I pull the trigger. David Cohn. And Gian. This is Ozzy, I believe. Yes. There's a Chipper. Like to see him. 1995 season. There's a Sammy Sosa right behind him. Davis with the Angels. We've got a Marty Cordova rookie card. Now, in terms of rookies, we've gotten the two worst ones you can get. Chipper, A-Rod, and Sean Green are the three you want. Obviously, Chipper and A-Rod over Sean Green. There's a Ricky Henderson. And last is a Martin with the Pirates. Now, I have a ton, since I bought 4 boxes of this, I have a ton to open, so I figure for Throwback Thursday, I'll stagger them. You know, every other week will be an Emotion 95 box, and then in between those, I will do something different. So most likely one would be a Pinnacle Mint, one might be a Select from 1997, and then I'll find something else that's cool to open for the last one. Palmer, Dante Bichette, Senior. There actually is a Dante Bichette Jr. He's a little older than Bo and didn't have a whole lot of success in the majors, unfortunately. But Bo looks to be extremely promising. If you don't have any of his rookie cards, I suggest going to pick one up. There's a Jay Buhner. Brian Jordan with the Cardinals. Smiley. Miller. Carter. Larry Walker, Ozzie Smith, The Wizard of Oz, and Hammonds. We have not seen a insert card in quite some time. First pack we pulled had the Kenny Lofton Masters. We've got a couple rookie cards since. Still looking for our first Cal Ripken insert. Benitez. Which unfortunately I don't think is in this pack either. Typically they're towards the middle and they stick out a little bit. They're not as sticky. There's Hansen. Marquise Grissom with Atlanta. Wade Boggs. King. And last is Pudge. Got Nieves. We have a checklist, which unfortunately is a card. I was just counting to see how many were in here, and there were 8, including the checklist. That's a little bit of a bummer. We've got Gonzalez, Finley, Newfield, Stanley, and Lenny Dykstra. There's our first Ryan Klesko. Bernard Gilkey. Barry Larkin. This looks to be some kind of insert card. I believe it is a Cal Ripken Timeless, and it is. So this is our first one of this set. There are 10 of these. We want to collect them all. And there is card number 4. This is honoring his first MVP season. Mark McGuire. And Franklin. I believe the odds on those are 1 out of 12 or 1 out of 8. I believe they're 1 out of 12 and Masters are 1 out of 8. Rookies are 1 out of 5 and the Intense is 1 out of 37. Based on memory. Don Mattingly. We have a rookie card of Edgardo Alfonso. Still looking for A-Rod or Chipper. There's a Matt Williams. That is Rivera. I believe this is not Mariano. Yeah, it's Ruben Rivera. And Dennis Eckersley. We have Jeff Bagwell. Hopefully he is a sign of good luck. Manny Ramirez right behind him. John Olerud. We have a rookie card of Jason Bates. So far, we've collected just about every rookie except for the ones we actually want. Which happens. And Stanley's the last card. There's Bagwell again, followed by Manny and Olerud. We have Jason Bates, Schlum. So this was a very similar pack to the first one we opened. There's our first Juan Gonzalez. And last is Sean Green, the non-rookie variant. So our odds of pulling rookie cards has actually been extremely high, way better than the 1 out of 5. However, we haven't been getting the guys we want, but that's okay. There's a Brian Jordan. Andy Pettit again. Winfield. And last is Juan Gonzalez. Smoltzy, Brett Myers. We have our next Cal Ripken Jr. card, the Ripken Learning Center. This is number 9 out of 10. We've collected 2 out of 10 so far. There is Kurt Schilling. I also have a handful of those in my personal collection that I could add. So chances are I'd complete the set after opening this box. All right, we have I believe this is Brett Boone with the Reds, not Aaron Boone. And this is Brett. I always wondered what happened to him, because when he went to Seattle, his home run numbers went through the roof, and he just wasn't that big of a guy. You're pretty small second baseman, but his home run numbers were ridiculous for a couple years. There's a Greg Maddux Masters card. Now, the odds of pulling this one are 1 out of 8. This box has actually been loaded with inserts so far. We've gotten a ton of rookie cards. We've hit 2 Masters cards. And we hit the 2 Cal Ripken parallels so far. Alright, so I made a little bit of space for myself. And so far the cards appear to be in fantastic shape. Ken Caminetti. Tavares. Like I said, these are a little time consuming to go through just because they love to stick together. It's still very pretty to look at. I like that the picture of the player is on the entire card. I think that's very unique, and you still don't see a lot of that. You know, typically you lose some of it with the bordering, with the different graphics that the manufacturers use. You know, so having the full card of the player and then the name and the adjective, you know, around, and still being able to see everything in perfectly clear view is, you know, pretty cool design in my opinion. It's part of why I always like these. Albert Bell. We have our third Cal Ripken Timeless card. This is one we haven't pulled yet, and it is number 10. His 2000th consecutive game. He is known as the Iron Man. Any of you that attend trivia nights, I'm sure if you're watching this, you know Cal Ripken is the Iron Man. But in the event that you don't, and come across that trivia question on trivia night, you now know the answer. I don't remember the specific question, but a few years ago I went to a trivia night on a whim one night and met up with some random people, and the question was involving something having to do with Paul Konerko in 2014, and I wasn't 100% sure it was Paul, but he was the only notable White Sox player, you know, for a pretty significant period of time, and I was fairly confident it was him, and I was the only person in, or the only team, you know, in the bar that got that question right. There is a Masters insert of Raul Mondesi. Not my favorite player. I kind of skipped over that one a little bit. We've got an A-Rod on the back, Paul Molitor up front. We have a Ryan Klesko. If I remember correctly, last time we pulled Klesko, it was a really good pack. And maybe he'll bring us a little bit of good luck here. Bernard Gilkey. Gary Gaetti. Bates. And last is Alex Rodriguez. Good one to pull out of this set. There's a little bit of damage at the bottom, a little bit of whitening, but as a whole, this card looks pretty good. I'm not a grader, but it's probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10. There's another Chipper Jones, number 2. Sammy Sosa right behind him. And we have a Cal Ripken Timeless insert of the Toronto All-Star Game. He was an All-Star MVP in 1991, and this is number 6 out of 10 in the set. So if the odds I read and remembered were actually official, this box has been loaded with inserts. You know, if any of those odds are actually statistically true, we have a big outlier in this box. You know, we haven't pulled a ton of, you know, Griffeys and Chippers and A-Rods. We've gotten, you know, one of each, 2 Chippers in that instance. No Jeter yet, although I have a feeling one is coming soon. There's a Ray Durham rookie, but we have pulled a ton of Masters cards, rookie cards, there's a Hideo Nomu, the Cal Ripken inserts. So we have more than made up for it. Oliver. And last, as I mentioned, Jeter was coming. There he is. I saw him when I opened up the pack. I cheated a little bit. Oh, I can confirm I am not clairvoyant. We've got yet another rookie card in this one. The purple one I actually think is Chipper. There's Brett Boone again. Daughtery. Eddie Murray. And Marty Cordova. So Chipper might be purple, but Marty Cordova is as well. Now, out of the rookie cards, we've gotten a lot of them, but none that we've actually been searching for. There's our second Alex Rodriguez. Great card to pull. This one looks to be in slightly better condition. Only a handful of these packs left. This video is going to be a little bit of a longer one. And I'll do my best to highlight where the cool cards are if you want to skim through it. Trammell. There is a Brady Anderson. Raul Mondesi. And Sanders. White. Say Charles Johnson. Don't believe we've seen him yet. Move on. That's the first one of him as well. Hollins. Ruben Rivera again. Eckersley. Danny Nagel. That's the first one of him. And Vinny Castilla. I believe there were 200 cards in this set. We've come pretty close to collecting all of them, I'd be willing to bet. I'd have to go find a checklist online and see if we have all the base cards, but I'd imagine we're pretty close. Albert Bell. I don't believe we've seen a Gary Sheffield yet. There's a Steve Avery. We also have not, speaking of Braves, we haven't seen Tom Glavine. There's our first Barry Bonds, so maybe we're further than I thought with collecting the base set. There's a Hayes. Tarasco. And last is Robin Ventura. With that said, I have 3 other boxes of this, so there's a high probability we collect a vast majority of the cards in the set, including the inserts as well. Steinbach, who we've seen a couple times. The only set we have not come across, or the only insert we haven't come across yet, are the Intense cards, which are quite rare. This is another timeless insert. The shortstop home run record. This is card number 8 of 10. There's Beck. Fryman. There's Ripken himself. First one we've gotten of him. And Valdez. Perez. We've got, there's Sheffield. I was just talking about him. Valentine. David Justice. This is a portion of the run we haven't come across yet. Eric Karros. Still looking for Glavin. There's Aaron Seal. Paul O'Neill. And last is that a Q? Ontiveros. Couldn't tell if that was a Q or an O. It was an O. There's a checklist, unfortunately. Hate to see that. Speaking of Johnson, we don't have a Randy Johnson yet. Jose Canseco. There's an intense card. It is Albert Bell. These are 1 out of 37. I think they are very, very cool to look at. I've got a couple others in my personal collection. They've got a little bit of a shimmery nature to them, as well as the holographic N for intense. A very, very cool card to see. There's our first one. That was Albert Bell. Which I have no idea what his stuff goes for. I have a fair amount of it in my personal collection. And he always put up pretty good numbers. But a vast majority of my personal cards are from the late 80s and the entire 1990s decade. I'm missing, just about anything from about 2002 to 2019. I just didn't collect cards during that time and picked it up recently after coming across a couple YouTubers that were opening cards, and I thought maybe it'd be a great time to get back into the hobby. There's our first Mike Piazza. Bones, Key, and last in this pack is McGuire. All right, so we've got 4 packs left. Still looking for some of the more prominent rookie cards. Any Griffeys, any Jeters, any Chipper Jones cards. Alex Rodriguez is obviously a good one. Frank Thomas is a good one. Let's see what we get. I believe there is another rookie card coming up. There's Tony Gwynn. Haven't seen him yet. I believe that's Edgar Martinez. Or Tino, rather. There's Alex Rodriguez rookie card. That's one of the ones we were looking for. I don't believe hot boxes existed in the 90s. But this one was heavily packed with inserts. Kenny Lofton. Edgardo Alfonso. Quilvio Veras. Ray Lankford. And McDonald. All right, last 2 packs. Ruben Sierra. We have a Greenwell. Next is the crime dog, Fred McGriff. His adjective just says cool. Steve Traxel. Remember him when he was with the Mets, just because the Braves almost always tuned him up, which was great to see. There's our 5th Cal Ripken insert. 5th or 6th, actually. And I believe we've gotten a different one every time. This is number 5 for 95 consecutive errorless games, which is a pretty significant accolade. This is Prince Fielder. And last is Edgar Martinez, not to be confused with Tino. All right, we've got a Frank Thomas on the back. There's Brett Myers. Well, speaking of Cubs, I don't believe we've seen a Ryan Sandberg yet. There is Tim Salmon, Deion Sanders, Plantier, Montgomery, Chuck Knobloch. There's our Randy Johnson. And last is Frank Thomas. He is the last card we opened in these packs. So I would love to say thanks for everybody who tuned in today while I opened these 1995 Emotion packs on Throwback Thursday. If you like the content, please subscribe and like the video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.